You want to hear something interesting? There's one person in this entire world that every top-tier gang, every underground boss, every assassin fears the most. His name, Pietro, the man who turned the underworld into his personal graveyard. But the crazy part about this killer, he's not some young prodigy or super soldier. He's an old man in his 60s, still out here wiping out entire syndicates. But then things changed. If life went as planned, he would have retired a legend. But now, every killer in the underworld is after his head. His fortune's gone, his empire's dust. Kinda sad, right? The legend who gave everything to his organization is now the one running for his life. Bleeding out and cornered, the man looks up. It's you, isn't it? The name he whispers, Pietro. The killer everyone fears, standing there like it's just another day. He can't wrap his head around it. Every assassin in the world's hunting this guy. Yet he's the one walking in calm, like death itself doesn't faze him. He's shocked. How's this old man still alive? Still unseen when the whole world's hunting him? Want to know the secret? Pietro just smirks. Says, you could have every assassin, every camera, every eye watching me, and still, you'd never find me. The man's body hits the floor, barely breathing, eyes locked on the figure in front of him. Pietro tilts his head, almost mocking him. It's a shame, but the Pietro you're looking for. The guy freezes. His eyes go wide. No way, that's impossible. The man's eyes widen in shock. He stammers, Pietro. A shadow steps forward, calm, unhurried. A cigarette lights up between his fingers. That's when it hits him. The aura, the silence, the cold stare. He's face to face with the real deal. You're Pietro. 3 months earlier, a quiet alley in Seoul. Nothing special, just another day in the city. Inside a small bookstore, someone's yelling, "Boss, I told you already. You can't keep doing this." Inside the bookstore, a voice keeps scolding him. "You ignore our calls, and you won't even check yourself into the hospital. At this rate," they shout, "you won't even last 3 months." But Pietro doesn't flinch. He just keeps sorting pills with a calm face. "I'm not afraid of death," he thinks. "I've lived my entire life on the edge between life and death." He looks down at an old photo frame, a faint smile on his face. "I've spent 50 years working nonstop," he thinks, "and I don't regret a thing." He flips through a photography book. "I've lived my whole life without regrets, at least that's what I used to believe." But as the thought settles in, his expression softens. "Now that I think about it, I've never even taken a picture of myself." A small bell rings at the door of the old bookstore. A cheerful voice cuts through the silence. "Hello." A high school girl steps in, sunlight following her. She looks around the room stacked with dusty shelves. I was wondering if you have any middle school textbooks?" For a moment, he stays quiet, like he's not used to hearing anyone's voice in this place. Then he turns around with a smile. "Welcome. We've got every book there is, except the ones we don't." She laughs and asks if he's got middle school textbooks. Pietro answers instantly, from the 1960s to 2020, even foreign editions. "Which year do you need?" She says, "The most recent one, please." She smiles and says, "It's for my younger sibling." Her tone's bright, like the kind that instantly warms the room. Pietro nods, glancing toward the window. "You go to that high school across the street, right?" She answers with a cheerful, "Yes." "You must be in your last year," he says, noticing her badge. She looks surprised. "You even know the name tag colors?" Pietro chuckles. "I know everything about this neighborhood." She looks surprised as Pietro sets a huge stack of books on the counter. "Huh, this is not what I wanted," she says awkwardly, staring at the massive pile of brand-new textbooks. She waves her hands, flustered. "I only have 1,001. I can't afford all this, and they're brand new." But Pietro just smiles. "I don't need them anymore. You can take them." She tries to protest, but he cuts her off softly. "It's okay." He tears the plastic wrapping off the stack, his old hands steady and deliberate. "There," he says with a faint smile. "Now they're used, right?" She looks stunned. He adds quietly, "I can tell you really care about your sibling. So, be kind whenever you can." She pauses for a second, his words sinking in. "Be kind when you can, or you'll end up regretting it." As she gathers her things, she hesitates, unsure how to address him. Grandpa? No. Sir? Ajusi? No. Without looking up, he chuckles. You don't want to call me boss? She smiles, realizing it fits. All right, boss. She hesitates before asking, do you have any regrets? He stops tying the books, his hands trembling slightly. I have a lot of regrets, he says quietly. I've lived a long life. It's just... The scene shifts to a memory. A desperate voice echoes. We can't do anything about it. This is the only way you and your daughter can both survive. He exhales, eyes distant. But there's nothing you can do about what's already happened, he says, voice heavy with regret. I'm sure you don't understand now. He continues softly, but be good to your sibling. Don't do anything you'll regret. Before his words can even sink in, the girl suddenly pulls out a knife, her voice sharp and cold. Go back while you can, she warns. Then I won't kill you. Her eyes widen, shock freezing her in place. How did he know? The old man doesn't even flinch. I know the faces of every student from that school, he says, voice calm but cold. But I didn't recognize yours, so I had to check. He tilts his head slightly, eyes glinting. You said you were in your last year, right? A beat of silence. Then his words cut through the air. What a shame for you. That school was built only 2 years ago. Her mind flashes back, the moment he mentioned her name tag. Damn it. Her expression twists with realization. He knew from the start. She grits her teeth. I have no choice now. She lunges forward with the knife. A close-up of her eye, shock and fear collide as something stops her mid-attack. Her thoughts spiral in confusion. What? I'm the one holding the knife. So why? Her grip trembles, the fear shifting from him to herself. The old man stands perfectly still, eyes dark and unreadable. Does it feel like I'm going to be the one to die? He asks quietly. Both freeze, their eyes lock in silent tension. Neither moves, but the air feels razor-sharp. A single sound breaks the silence. Talk. The old man's hand relaxes as she hesitates mid-swing. He turns his back to her, voice low but steady. Take the books. He doesn't even look at her. I know you weren't lying about your younger sibling. He gives a faint smile, voice calm. I've worked in this field for 5 decades. You can tell a lot from someone's eyes, especially when they're lying. She stiffens. His next words hit harder than expected. You're from the honor orphanage, right? Same as me. Her eyes widen. Icha? Wait, I didn't mean, she stammers, caught off guard. He turns his back again, tone shifting cold. I guess you haven't learned this lesson yet. He pauses before finishing. If our organization fails a volunteering project, his calm mask shatters. Veins flare, and his hand ignites with raw power. That means it's time for Plan B. His tone drops, dangerous and final. Before she can even blink, he lunges. His hand wraps around her throat, fast, brutal, precise. She gasps, eyes wide in disbelief. Her mind races. Plan B? What is he talking about? Panic floods her system as she struggles to breathe, realizing this wasn't just about books anymore. Out of nowhere, 2 men crash through the air, reinforcements moving fast. The old man doesn't even flinch, his grip on her throat unshaken as papers explode around them. They land hard, but before they can act, he shoves her down and rolls, dodging the incoming strike with veteran precision. The shelves rattle, books flying everywhere. He pins her to the ground, his cold breath brushing against her face. If you fail your mission, he says quietly, eyes glowing with intent, even the volunteers need to be eliminated. She's frozen for a second, eyes wide as she realizes something's off. Blood starts pouring out from the old man's torso. He's been hit, and it's bad. Before she can even process it, gunfire rains down from above. One of the attackers opens fire, bullets shredding through shelves as the whole place erupts into chaos. The old man whips out a gun and fires back, eyes sharp and full of focus. But before he can react, one of the attackers grabs the girl, pressing a gun to her head. She struggles, gasping for air as the situation flips instantly. His eyes widen in fury. Damn it! He clenches his jaw, realizing he's trapped, and can't make a move without risking her life. One of the attackers swings in from above, landing a brutal hit straight to the old man's face, sending him reeling. The old man tries to fight back, but his movements feel sluggish. His body isn't responding. Something's wrong. The guy smirks, tightening his fist. What? You sure this is the Pietro we're supposed to be afraid of? He mocks, clearly underestimating him. The bald guy smirks, fake politeness in his voice as he apologizes, clearly not meaning it. The old man crashes to the ground while the group approaches him slowly. They mock his reputation, calling him the top assassin who used to hold first rank. The bald man steps forward, his head tattoo glinting under the light. But I guess even you can't beat cancer, he says coldly. His name flashes, codename, Octopus. Boss's informant. Special traits. The old man, bruised and on the ground, glares up at his attacker. Enough with the bullshit, he growls. Why are you trying to kill me? The bald man answers coldly. The boss isn't comfortable. The old man stares back in confusion. With me? Why? The bald man smirks, his tattoo catching the light. There are thousands of people after you, he says, voice calm but laced with menace. A wall of guns is pointed straight at him. The air is tense as the voice says, it's no use crying over spilt milk. The circle of weapons closes in, all aimed at the old man, standing calmly below. The reward for your head is 7.6 billion. The old man looks up, breathing hard. That's somehow the same as the amount on my account, he says bitterly. The bald man smirks. Yes. It's the money you worked so hard to save your entire life. He tilts his head slightly, voice dripping with mock sympathy. But for that money to go to someone else. His grin twists into something monstrous as he bursts out laughing. How and awesome is that? The old man glares up, face hardened with rage as his enemy mocks him. So, Sunbeam, the man says coldly, please make sure to die by my hand. Before he can react, a brutal punch lands square on his jaw, sending his head snapping to the side. The attackers swarm him, fists and kicks flying. This is why you should have stayed quiet and dug your own grave, one of them shouts. Why do you have to make things so damn annoying for us? The thug charges forward, landing a brutal hit that sends Pietro flying straight through the curtain and into the next room. One of them chuckles, watching the body slump. He's knocked out. Guess that's that, he says. The other laughs. Man, I was nervous coming here, but this turned out easy. Let's just finish it. Behind the curtain, Pietro lies motionless, blood dripping from his mouth. One of the men pulls the curtain aside, completely unaware of what's about to happen next. With a bloodied grin, Pietro raises his hand slightly and mutters, "It's a small gift from me." The bald man's eyes widen as something metallic clatters to the floor. A flashbang. Flashbang, he shouts in panic. Realization hits too late. His face twists in dread as he blurts out, "Fuck," before the explosion erupts. A loud blast erupts from the building, light cutting through the rain. The flashbang goes off, shaking the street. The men rush out in a panic, smoke still curling behind them. "He's gone," one yells. "Damn it. He let us here on purpose." Back inside, Octopus growls. He couldn't have gone far. He was bleeding badly, while the woman, still in shock, stares ahead, realizing Pietro just vanished into the storm. Rain pours over an empty playground, the sound of thunder drowning the city's silence. Under the jungle gym, Pietro collapses, gasping for air, blood mixing with rainwater. Every breath looks like it could be his last. His thoughts echo bitterly in his head. I didn't even get to put up a proper fight. Pietro collapses face first into the puddle, trembling as blood drips from his mouth. Every breath sounds heavier than the rain. A bitter thought crosses his mind. I sure have gotten old. His fading eyes look up through the downpour, memories flooding in. Looking back on it now, he remembers his youth, a room full of kids assembling guns instead of books. My entire life was just work, while others were studying. He remembers the blood, the pain, and the endless training. I spent every day of the year learning how to wield a knife while others learned how to live. Scenes of him at a desk full of radios and wires flash by. While they were falling in love, I was learning to wiretap until my ears bled. Snow, frostbite, and shadows, his memories grow colder. When they built families, I became a spy buried in Russia's winter. He recalls years spent undercover, surrounded by gunfire and chaos. I survived countless threats inside terrorist groups, risking my life every single day. The tone shifts, his voice hardens. But everything changed the moment a new boss took over. A man sits in the dark, confidence radiating from his posture. Senile old man, he mutters, a smirk curling on his lips. He talks about Pietro with disdain. He used to be feared, but now he's gone soft from age and sickness. The smirk widens into something cruel. It's time to throw him away. Pietro struggles to breathe, rain pouring over his battered body. I gave up everything for this life. I never asked for luxury. He grits his teeth, blood mixing with rain. But is this really all I have to show for it? His trembling hand claws at the ground. No, he can't treat me like this. Pietro struggles to stay upright, his body trembling. I can't die here not like this. I can't lose that money. Blood drips from his mouth as he clenches his jaw. That money, a flash of memory, his daughter, crying in fear, clinging to him. It's all for her. His vision blurs as tears mix with the rain. His last thought burns in his eyes, regret and rage. Pietro collapses completely, blood pooling beneath him as the rain keeps falling. The camera pulls away. His lifeless body lies in the empty playground, rain drowning out the sound of his final breath. Rain pours over the neon-lit flower temple, the base of the octopus gang, buzzing with criminal energy. Inside, one of the goons slams his fist on the counter. Damn it, if I'd killed that old man, the $7.6 billion would have been mine. Another scoffs. Why is there such a high price on some washed-up geezer anyway? The second man grins, dumping a pile of gold coins on the table. Legend or not, money talks. I gave up my kickboxing title for this life. Just wait and see. The thug glares at Pietro's photo, muttering, I'm going to kill this old bastard and finally make it big. A calm voice interrupts. Did you know? That's the first picture I ever took. They turn, eyes wide. Standing in the doorway is Pietro himself, soaked in rain, very much alive. WH what? Pietro. The man in the red shirt steps forward, calm but cold. Ah, I guess I should say it's the first picture of me that was ever taken. One of the thugs squints, confused. Wait, that's not him. I thought it was because of the clothes. He grips his chest, voice low. I don't get it either. I just woke up like this. The thugs glance at each other, unsettled. What? What the hell is he mumbling about? One of the goons smirks, resting his hand on Pietro's shoulder. Sorry, kid. You're in the wrong place. This isn't where a student like you belongs. Pietro's grip tightens around the man's wrist, his voice cold and steady. I know exactly where I am. Take me to Octopus before I lose my patience. The two thugs exchange glances, confused, cautious. One mutters, What's with this guy? The thug laughs with a mocking grin. Ah, so you're also in this field, huh? What did you come here for? His smile twists into a sneer as he lunges forward, throwing a punch. In any case, if you're in this field, you have to die. Mid-swing, his eyes widen in confusion. The thug's eyes bulge in shock as Pietro effortlessly stops his punch midair. What the fuck? He shouts, straining against the unmoving hand holding him in place. His mind races. How is he this strong? He blocked it with just one hand. Fear flickers across his face as realization sets in. Close up on Pietro, his face still shadowed, his grip tightening. Silent, cold, and terrifying. Pietro's voice is calm, almost too calm, as he tilts his head down. Yes, I am. With a brutal twist, he crushes the thug's hand in his grip. Bones snap like dry wood. The thug screams, charging in with a knife, rage written all over his face. Before he can blink, Pietro moves, one hit, and the guy's body folds, the air cracking from the impact. The last thug steps back in shock, clutching his knife. WH what? Where did you come from? He yells, his voice trembling. Pietro turns his back slightly, voice low and cold. Being good with a knife, that's third-rate. The thug freezes, his confidence slipping as Pietro continues. Being good with all weapons is second-rate, Pietro says, stepping closer, his tone calm but deadly. He lifts a bloodied tentacle from the table, eyes sharp. First-rate is being able to use anything as a weapon. The thug's face twists in disbelief. He's going to use an octopus tentacle, he blurts, completely thrown off. He snaps, yelling in frustration as he rushes forward with his knife. What the hell are you talking about? Before he can even blink, Pietro swings the slimy tentacle like a whip, sending the knife flying from the thug's hand in an instant. The thug's eyes widen in panic. He can't even process what's happening. In one clean motion, Pietro swings the tentacle across his face, the impact sending water splattering everywhere. The thug collapses, choking and gasping, tentacle marks wrapping around his neck as he lets out a strangled "cook." The thug's body is flung through the air like a rag doll, the tentacle coiled around him as Pietro yanks him effortlessly. Without hesitation, Pietro swings him over a massive boiling pot, the steam hissing up as if warning what's coming next. And then, boom, the man's body crashes straight into the pot, flames and broth exploding out as the kitchen fills with the sound of chaos. The thug lies sprawled on the floor, burned and trembling, barely able to speak. "Who are you? Why?" he stammers. Pietro crouches down, picking up a crumpled photograph from the ground. He looks at it, a photo of the old man in the red shirt, and mutters coldly, "Is this the only picture of me you have?" Pietro's voice echoes in narration. He was once the best in his field, the man everyone feared and respected. But now, he's back, in his younger body. He lights a cigarette, a faint smirk forming. "The thousands of you won't ever find me," he says, confident, dangerous, and fully aware that his second life has just begun. Pietro's voice cuts through the silence. "The old Pietro you're looking for." He stares forward with cold, red eyes as flames rise behind him. The photo of his older self burns away, is dead. And with that, a new legend begins. Pietro, young once again. The scene shifts to a black car, speeding through the neon-lit city. One of the agents inside shouts, "We were so close, but we lost him." Inside the car, the man in the suit says calmly, "Soon, Pietro's official wanted order will be announced. And before that happens, I need to get him." He glances toward his partner and adds coldly, "He's almost dead because of cancer. It'll be great if he can share with his juniors, right?" Rain pours outside a quiet restaurant glowing under warm lights, the calm before the storm. Pietro steps in, still wearing his blood-stained red shirt, his eyes sharp and focused, hand gripping the door handle. He scans the empty dining hall, silence heavy in the air, as if the whole place is holding its breath. Then, in a low voice, he mutters, "So Octopus extends my life." The scene shifts to a busy station filled with people rushing past. The rain has stopped, but tension lingers in the air. A few onlookers freeze, eyes wide in disbelief. "Whoa, who is that? What does he do?" one of them blurts out. Inside the restroom, Pietro stares at his reflection, his younger, muscular body staring back. "Does this make sense?" he mutters, still trying to process what just happened. Pietro looks down at his hands, shocked. The bullet scars that once tore through his body are gone, and even the cancer that was killing him has vanished. He stares at his reflection again, voice trembling. "I've become my younger self. How did something like this happen?" His thoughts echo, uncertain but determined. "I don't know why this has happened." A wanted poster of the old Pietro hangs on the wall, 7.6 billion won on his head. But the man standing before it, younger and sharper, smirks. "They won't recognize me now." He stares into the distance, thinking, no matter where they search, they'll never find the old Pietro. His serious expression fades slightly as he looks down at his torn shirt. More importantly, "I need to buy some clothes." As Pietro walks through the station, he overhears someone talking on the phone about an 80 million won payment from a commercial deal. He pauses, curious. Another voice chimes in, saying the account balance was only 100,000 won. Something about that catches Pietro's attention. He turns to see a group of men laughing cruelly. They mock a struggling actor who couldn't afford his mother's medicine because of a bad contract. The air turns cold as Pietro silently watches them, his expression hardening. Two gangsters joke around, laughing about spending stolen money on luxury clothes. One mocks the other for flexing his Louis Vuitton, while the other proudly calls himself the boss. The heavier one smirks, explaining how designer clothes help him manipulate people during deals, a twisted business tactic. Their conversation gets cut off when Pietro steps in, calm but cold. "This is a non-smoking area. Go smoke outside." The two turn to him, irritated. "What? Who the hell is this guy?" The two gangsters close in on Pietro, puffing smoke in his face. "You talking to us?" One sneers. Pietro shoots back coldly. "Are there any other smokers here?" One of them slaps him across the face, laughing. "Get lost, kid. This young's in a good mood today, so I'll let it slide. Don't go around meddling, you'll die early." Pietro stays calm, rubbing his cheek as he turns away. The gangsters chuckle behind him, calling him names. "Let's not waste time on these idiots," one says smugly. But Pietro's silence says everything. This isn't over. Pietro flips the switch with a calm, deliberate motion. "Let's not waste any time." He locks the door behind him, his voice steady. And end this quickly. The gangsters laugh, clueless about what's coming. "Who the hell is he?" "Some manners freak." One jokes. The other snickers. "It's make the man, you idiot." Pietro rolls up his sleeve, eyes sharp and calm. "I'll show you what happens when you disrespect adults in Korea, a country of courteous people." The thug scoffs, raising his hand. He's still talking informally? His buddy grins. "Let's kill him for real today." Pietro just tilts his head. "Hey, come over here." Before the man can react, Pietro's fist crashes into his chest like a sledgehammer, sending him flying back with a thunderous impact. The big guy eats a savage hit. Jaw snaps back, spit flies, dude stunned. Pietro follows up, powering him through the air like a rag doll and slamming him down. The leftover thug waves a knife, screaming, "Who the hell are you?" Too late. Pietro's already in control. Pietro doesn't even look back. He calmly points out the knife in the thug's hand. A pocket knife. His tone's casual, like he's correcting a student. He glances over his shoulder. "You're holding it the wrong way. You'll cut your finger off if you hold it like that." The guy freezes, startled that this stranger even noticed that detail. Embarrassed, the thug tries to act tough, flailing the knife forward. Who's the one swinging it, huh?" "You son of a..." His bravado cracks mid-sentence. Pietro doesn't flinch, his tone calm and cold. "If you were going to stab me..." His red eyes lock onto the man, muscles tense. "Your arm wouldn't be in front of you." He's analyzing the guy's stance like a predator sizing up prey. The thug snaps, yelling in rage, "Shut the fuck up!" and charges with the knife, his face twisted in anger as he swings wildly. The thug lunges forward, knife flashing through the air, but Pietro blocks effortlessly, twisting his wrist and knocking the blade clean out of his hand. In one swift motion, Pietro drives the man to the floor and strikes with brutal precision, hitting vital points as blue light bursts from the impact. The thug's face twists in shock and pain, eyes wide with terror. He screams, clutching his chest. Pietro stands tall, holding the knife calmly. "I didn't stab you," he says coldly. "If I did, you'd have died 3 times already." The gangster stumbles back on the floor, terrified, shouting, Who the hell are you?" Pietro walks toward him calmly, saying he doesn't care what kind of illegal stuff they're into. Suddenly, Pietro grabs the man's shoulder with brutal force. The thug screams, "My shoulder!" as veins pop and pain floods his face. Pietro leans in close, his tone cold and final. "Then you need to die here, you young bastard." Pietro stares down at the terrified thug trembling on the bathroom floor. He sighs and mutters, "Your pants won't do." The gangster blinks in confusion, stammering, "Pardon." Pietro looks down coldly and says, "Stay on the right path from now on." Cut to Pietro checking his phone. His bank balance shows 0 won. He frowns as the thought hits him. My 7.6 billion won is gone. Pietro walks through the crowded station in a sharp suit, scrolling his phone. His expression is calm but cold. I told him not to touch that money. He looks up, eyes burning with quiet anger. All right. In the end, that's what you guys are worth. As he walks past a young couple chatting about scholarship, the contrast hits. His world is far darker. The soft glow of normal life surrounds them, while Pietro's shadow stretches long behind him. Pietro narrates how he grew up in the Honor Orphanage, a small religious facility that raised him. Time passes, and 50 years later, the same group that once claimed to help the poor now flaunts massive charity ads. The Glory Club poses as saviors feeding malnourished children, just a front for something darker. Their banners light up the whole city, showing how deep their power runs. The so-called Glory Group is just a mask for a massive cartel that controls politics and wealth. Pietro's expression hardens, eyes burning with resolve. Since it's the company I built, I'll be the one to destroy it. The scene shifts to a remote warehouse under a moonlit sky, surrounded by crates and silence. Something bad's about to go down. Inside, a man sits between rows of hanging meat, smirking with arrogance. He scoffs, "What? You came to get me alone?" Another figure steps forward calmly, bald, massive, dressed sharp. His voice is steady. "You're not Pietro. If it's you, there's no need to bring anyone else." The man sitting down scoffs, rubbing his temples. "You Glory Club guys are getting too greedy. Keep trusting Pietro, and you'll all die early." The bald man doesn't even flinch. "Who cares if I die early or not?" He calmly closes his eyes, voice low but cold. "Let's end this talk and finish this quickly. You know it'll hurt less that way." The seated man laughs mockingly, leaning forward with a smirk. "Ha ha. For a kid, you talk big. What am I going to do with you, geez?" The man smirks, voice dripping with arrogance. "I've basically set up a festival for our guest." The scene shifts. A line of towering mercenaries steps out behind him, all muscle and menace. The air tightens. Text flashes. Vacna Mercenary, the best civilian military enterprise in the West. Since 1984. The seated boss narrows his eyes, his thoughts racing. He's not one of Glory Club's 12 disciples, so why is he acting so damn cocky? Then out loud, he snaps, "What are you doing? Our guest is waiting." The boss grins wickedly and says, "Treat him well." In an instant, the mercenaries charge forward like a pack of wolves, surrounding the bald man with killing intent. The bald man lowers his head slightly, calm, emotionless, a faint smirk forming as pressure bursts from him like a shockwave. Moments later, silence. A chair lies on the floor, drenched in blood, the only sign of what just happened. The boss stumbles back, eyes wide in horror, muttering, "Impossible, what's this?" as he stares at the blood pooling around him. Sweat drips down his face. His voice shakes. How can a human, he can't even finish the sentence. The bald man steps out of the shadows with a calm, eerie smile. "For someone who prepared a feast," he says, tilting his head, "it's a lot blander than I thought." Octopus grins while effortlessly twisting a man's body like it's nothing. His calm voice cuts through the chaos. "Don't you think?" They call him Octopus. Rank B+, a monster with full body flexibility, Korea's #1 in jiu-jitsu. The boss's face twists in terror, sweat dripping as he stumbles back. "Do not come any closer," he screams, voice cracking. Octopus rushes forward with that same chilling smile, closing the distance in a blink as the boss yells, "Go away." The scene shifts to a quiet building glowing under the sunset. A traditional place hiding something dark inside. Inside, the floor is a mess of blood and spilled food. Two bodies lie motionless, one sprawled across the tiles, the other slumped in the back, barely visible. Two people walk across the dim hallway. The CCTV was destroyed, and there are no traces of any weapons? Yes. The other responds coldly. Then there's only one person who could have done this. Octopus walks through the dim corridor, his tone calm but sharp. "It's Pietro. That old man's still alive, and he started killing our guys." The woman behind him, her eye covered by a bandage, stays silent but tense. As they pass a golden dragon mural glowing in the light, he continues coldly, Pietro's wanted order will be issued soon. No matter what, I need to get him first. He glances back slightly, his tone firm. Report to me when you find his location. The woman nods silently as the air around them thickens with tension. The girl with the eye patch remembers Pietro, the man who once smiled gently at her. She recalls how kind he was, how he risked everything to save her when no one else would. Those memories, warm yet painful, flicker alongside the image of blood and tragedy that followed. She snaps back to the present, her expression firm though her voice trembles slightly. Yes. The grand doors open under the glow of hanging lanterns, their light spilling across the floor. The calm before the storm. Her next move has already begun. Octopus, the girl with the eye patch, and a man in a red vest step into the restaurant, surprised. Octopus looks around, confused. Huh? What's this? We're not even open today. Inside, a man sits calmly at a round table under the warm light, eating as if he owns the place. The guy in red frowns and asks, "What brings you here? Do you have a meeting with us?" The man pauses mid-bite, his expression unreadable. "I don't," he says quietly, then lifts his eyes, cold and sharp. "But I do have a grudge." Octopus tilts his head slightly, his tone half-teasing. "A grudge? What? Someone pressuring you for credit?" The stranger replies calmly, "Yes, but it's a large amount." The man lifts his eyes, his voice steady but cold. "About 7.6 billion. The air instantly grows heavier around the table. Octopus smiles politely, but the tension behind that grin says it all. He knows this isn't about money. It's about payback. Octopus's expression turns cold, the light slicing across his tattooed head. His voice drops, calm but deadly. "Close the door." He stares at the man still seated at the table. "I think you're related to Pietro. But even if you aren't, you're not getting out of here alive." Octopus narrows his eyes, pausing for a beat. But Octopus studies the man carefully, his thoughts sharp and suspicious. What's with him? How does he know about Pietro? His eyes narrow. There's no information on this guy anywhere. Is he part of the club? Or something worse? Octopus narrows his eyes, thoughts racing. Is he Pietro's hidden son? No, maybe a disciple? But he quickly shakes off the idea. That's not it. Pietro was always alone. Their eyes lock. Octopus's calm but sharp gaze meets the stranger's unflinching stare. The air between them feels like it could snap. Octopus lifts 2 fingers, his tone suddenly light but filled with menace. "I'll give you a chance to live." He smirks slightly, still holding up his hand. 2 choices. 1. Tell us where Pietro is, and you walk out. 2. Refuse, and I'll personally put a bullet in your head. Pietro sits there, unbothered, almost amused. "What should I do?" "I don't really like either of those options," he says with a smirk. Octopus's men tense up immediately. No one's ever talked back like that. Without flinching, Pietro lifts a piece of food with his chopsticks and says coldly, "You know, there's never been anyone who survived after hearing that." His tone is calm, but it carries the weight of death. He leans back slightly, voice low and confident. "How about this instead?" A wicked grin spreads across his face. "Option 3, he says. "I'm Pietro." The entire room freezes, everybody realizing too late who they just threatened. Pietro drops his name like a bomb. "I'm Pietro." The room falls silent. Even the air seems to stop moving. His eyes glow with quiet fury as he leans forward. "And I killed your subordinates." Every word lands like a knife, calm but merciless. Octopus freezes for a moment, disbelief written all over his face. His voice trembles as he stares at Pietro. "What did you just say?" Pietro leans back casually, voice dripping with sarcasm. "God, a young man like you already has hearing problems? I said I killed those too." The confidence in his tone makes everyone's blood run cold. Octopus's thoughts spiral. What the hell is he talking about? Pietro didn't kill them? He clenches his jaw, realizing the situation's shifting fast. If he's telling the truth, and Pietro didn't kill them. He glares at Pietro, who's still eating like nothing happened. Then why the hell did this guy attack us? Octopus steps forward, his voice cold and controlled. Hey kid, for your information, this is a real gun. He loads it with a click that echoes through the room. Now, let's be clear. How are you related to Pietro? Pietro just looks at him, calm as ever, not even blinking, not even flinching. His eyes carry a silent warning, like he's already decided how this will end. The girl with the eye patch tightens her grip on a blade, stepping into position beside Octopus. Her expression hardens. She knows exactly who they're facing, and she's not taking any chances. Octopus stares at Pietro with a smirk, asking if he really wants to know. Pietro calmly replies, Yep, I do. Octopus grins, saying there's only one way to find out. Without hesitation, Pietro lifts his chopsticks and says, Just kill me. His voice is cold, like he's daring them to try. Octopus laughs, saying he's pretty good at that, while his guy in the red vest cocks the gun and aims straight at Pietro. The moment the guy pulls the trigger, a chopstick flies through the air and pierces straight into his neck. The gunshot goes wild as he chokes in shock, completely missing his target. His body collapses to the floor with a heavy thud. The girl freezes in disbelief, eyes wide as she realizes what just happened. She stares at the fallen body, stunned, thinking, no way, it pierced his vital point. Pietro calmly reaches into the container and picks up another chopstick, like nothing even happened. Octopus watches him closely, thinking, this guy's around my age, but no one I know could pull that off. Not even anyone in the entire Glory Club. Hell, probably no one in the whole country. Octopus stays quiet for a moment, then smiles slightly and admits, that was cool. Octopus steps over the body, grinning like nothing happened. He praises Pietro for having guts and asks what club he's from, then casually offers him a spot on his own team. But the moment passes and rage takes over. Octopus snaps, yelling in fury and unloading his gun straight at Pietro. Bullets fly across the room as Pietro flips the heavy table, using it as a shield while the wood splinters from the impact. Octopus laughs mockingly, calling Pietro a kid who doesn't know how the real world works. He points at the table riddled with bullet holes, smoke still rising, and taunts him. This isn't a movie. That table can't save you. Gun in hand, he walks closer, giving Pietro one last chance to talk. He says it's a shame to waste someone with that much skill, but orders him to come out so he can finish it himself. Octopus fires nonstop, shouting that once he's done, he'll clean up the mess himself. But suddenly, he freezes. Something's off. He looks down, realizing the red liquid splattered everywhere isn't blood at all. It's chili oil. Octopus spins around the room, shouting in frustration, Pietro's gone. He checks behind the pillar, but there's no one there. He keeps moving, gun ready, completely lost. He mutters that Pietro's vanished like a ghost. Suddenly, his eyes widen. He realizes too late something's above him. Pietro drops down from the ceiling, gripping a beam with one hand and glaring down like a predator about to strike. Pietro drops down and smashes a whole splash of hot chili oil straight into Octopus's face, burning red liquid flying everywhere. Octopus screams and fires wildly, blinded by the heat, but Pietro's already moving and fast. With perfect timing, Pietro twists his body, knocks the gun clean out of his hand. Then comes the finisher. Pietro drives a brutal punch right into Octopus's face, sending him reeling. Octopus's vision blurs as chili oil burns his eyes. He's panicking, completely unable to keep up with Pietro's movements. He looks up just in time to see Pietro towering over him, hands ready to strike, pure dominance in his eyes. Before Octopus can react, Pietro's hand clamps around his face, slamming his head with brutal force. Octopus collapses, lifeless on the floor, while Pietro stands over him, calm, cold, and completely unfazed. Pietro looks down silently, his expression calm but unreadable, like he's already done with the fight before it even started. Octopus lies on the floor, barely breathing, disbelief written all over his face as Pietro steps closer. In his fading thoughts, Octopus can't comprehend it. 10 years of fighting, countless battles, and yet he's never faced anyone this terrifying at such a young age. The do-or-die tactic. The words ring in Octopus's head. He remembers his old instructor's voice telling him that one day he'd face someone far stronger. The only way to survive would be to strike the instant their guard drops. Young Octopus had repeated it back then, the do-or-die tactic, never imagining he'd be the one on the receiving end of it someday. Octopus's voice echoes. Since then, I polished a technique only I could use. Flashback to his brutal training days. He's got another trainee locked in a chokehold, squeezing harder as his instructor yells at him to tighten it. No mercy, no hesitation. The instructor's cold words linger. Never turn your back when you think you've won. That's when you die. Never trust yourself. Young Octopus smiles darkly. After years of obsession, he finally perfected it. In his mind, he's unbeatable now. Octopus suddenly opens his eyes wide. He's locked onto his target, his instincts kicking in at full speed. In a split second, he grabs the guy's leg and twists it violently, catching him off guard. He spins his body with precision, wrapping his arm around like a coiled snake ready to strike. Then he locks in the chokehold, both of them straining as Octopus tightens it, his killer technique in full force. Octopus has Pietro in a chokehold, snarling like a maniac. He screams that he's been doing this since before Pietro was even born, his voice cracking with rage. He tightens his grip, veins bulging as he roars. Do you get it now? Die! Completely losing control. Then, out of nowhere, a calm voice cuts through the noise. Wow, that took a while. Octopus's face twists in confusion. He looks up and sees Pietro standing right in front of him, perfectly fine. His heart sinks. If Pietro's there, then who the hell is he choking? Octopus freezes as he realizes the body on the floor isn't Pietro. It's his own subordinate. His eyes widen in disbelief, cursing himself for the mistake. He looks shaken, sweat dripping down his face. 10 years in this line of work, and he's never felt fear like this. He steadies his breath, trying to convince himself, but deep down he already knows. Pietro stands over him, calm and cold. Octopus's heart sinks as the truth hits. He's going to die here at the hands of this man. Octopus backs up fast, throwing his hands up. He's desperate now, voice cracking as he tries to reason with Pietro. Wait, let's talk this out. In a split second, he grabs the woman beside him, locking his arm around her neck. You can take her, he yells, desperate. She might not be that experienced, but she's still useful. The woman struggles, shouting that she won't go with him, but Octopus snaps at her, his voice trembling with fear and anger. Shut up. We're in the middle of an important conversation. Pietro's voice cuts through the tension, calm but sharp. Okay, deal. Octopus freezes, surprised that he agreed so easily. Octopus bursts into a shaky laugh, still holding the woman hostage. As expected from a Glory Club member. You make decisions quick. Great, this is perfect, a done deal. He starts backing toward the exit, waving his free hand. Take her with you. Use her however you want. Let's just forget this ever happened, all right? But under his breath, his grin twists dark. You bastard. I'll find out who you are and tear you apart. Pietro's eyes narrow, voice cold and steady, the do-or-die tactic. Octopus turns his head slightly, confused. What? Pietro steps forward, his tone sharp. If you ever turn your back, thinking you've won. The air around him thickens with tension. Octopus's expression freezes. Pietro's words echo in his mind. When you think you've won. Flashback, a younger Octopus stands among trainees, his mentor's voice ringing out. You'll face a strong enemy someday. When that happens, wait for their guard to drop, then strike. That's your only chance to win. Back to the present. Pietro's calm, deadly smile returns. I killed 2 of your subordinates. He leans forward slightly, his tone cold. Out of 7.6 billion people, you should have known better than to mess with me. Octopus's voice shakes. In no way, this isn't possible. He stares at Pietro like he's seeing a ghost. A memory flashes, his old mentor standing tall under the dim training lights. The same man who taught him everything about survival and the do-or-die tactic. His eyes widen in horror as realization hits. Pietro, the mentor for back then, is the monster standing before him now. Octopus's eyes shake as Pietro's voice cuts through the silence. Do you remember it? Why, I said back then. Octopus's lips tremble, blood dripping down his chin. He can't even look up. Of the people who learn who Pietro is, the words echo in his mind like a death sentence. Not one is alive. Pietro's lips curve into a cold smirk. Bingo! He lunges forward like lightning, arm cutting through the air with precision. His strike lands. The impact is brutal. Octopus's body twists as blood bursts from his side, pain freezing his expression. In one clean motion, Pietro finishes it. His blow launches Octopus upward, the force tearing through him as crimson light floods the room. Night settles over the glowing city. Sirens wail in the distance, flashing lights cutting through the skyline. A calm voice speaks over a calm's line. Octopus is confirmed to be dead. The CCTV footage inside was deleted, and when we got there were no traces left. The figure stares at the skyline. An old man on the verge of death after being shot returns within a day and kills 4 trained killers without leaving a trace. Bare feet touch the cold floor as the man speaks with quiet authority. A bounty of 7.6 billion. SSS rank mission. His voice deepens. Tell this to all Glory members across the nation. The air grows heavier. Under the moonlight, the man turns, his massive back revealing a ferocious tattoo. An hour from now, I will issue a hunt for Pietro. The city is alive. Lights flicker, cars honk, and people cross the street under neon signs. Everything looks normal, unaware of the chaos brewing beneath. A little girl tugs on her father's hand, eyes wide with curiosity. Look, Dad. She points toward a massive digital billboard. Standing nearby, Pietro glances up too, his expression unreadable. His sharp eyes take in the scene like he's piecing something together. The billboard flashes with a familiar face and a slogan about charity. Treat the elderly to a warm meal. Pietro's lips curl slightly. They really went all out distributing those flyers. Volunteers greet people on the street, handing out flyers. We're the Glory Welfare Foundation. Share with others for 20,000 won a month. Pietro takes one of the flyers. The smiling image on it feels twisted in his eyes. The words read, treat the elderly to a warm meal. His grip tightens. There's no need to look for me. The paper crumples in his hand. Veins tense, resolve hardens. He steps into the neon-lit night, his voice low but sharp as steel. Because I'm coming for you myself.